Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
Hey,
Yes, much of me.
do you know what, Mary? Tell me this real quick. Did you pick these movies because you've seen them before?
I have seen all
These ones
What?
you've seen, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What was your thought process on picking these films?
So I had originally thought I wanted to go a little bit of like a darker theme with them. So that's kind of like why I went like the craft practical magic in my mind.
Yeah, as opposed to like a Devil Wears Prada
Yeah.
vibe. You know what I mean?
They're very,
Oh,
like,
I
comedy.
totally get it.
But then I
these
threw
are more
in
these are more drama.
Coyote Ugly because I didn't really have another one.
Yeah, which
There
but-
wasn't too much grand planning in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I totally that they worked thematically. I totally understand that. Like that makes sense now when you say it compared to the other ones that feel a little more like they're girl coded, but they are, like you said, a little more fun with your gals. Like you watch this one and you're like, oh wow, like, you know, being a woman is hard.
This is
not
a
where
laugh
it's
out
like
loud comedy, dude.
yeah.
I laughed more in
No,
this movie than I did in
I-
the previous
I laughed
two.
I laughed so much in this film inappropriately. Like it was like it bummed me out. It's just it's the fault of the film's style, and it couldn't really pick a lane. But
Yeah, we'll get into that because that's my.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
Is this the intro?
Yeah,
or was
yeah,
it-
yeah. Oh, keep it.
Yeah,
This is the
that's
Cultic
it.
Cinema
You
Knowledge.
answered a question. This is flawless.
I find a part to cut in, and then we just maybe yeah.
Just go for it. Okay.
We're professionals here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? What,
Mary,
you
you've
didn't get
never
the
listened to our
script? And I emailed
podcast.
you- yeah, I know, literally. I emailed you the script. Did you not get the script?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Listen, y'all been doing this for years.
I know. Yeah, not long enough, baby.
So,
right.
obviously, we mentioned them all. You mentioned all the movie. I don't even know if you mentioned the one we're watching today when you're talking about
I
all of
did
them.
it.
But
Riding in Cars with
today
Boys.
we watched, Riding in Cars with Boys, which I'd heard that title before, but I did not know anything about it, and I'd seen the poster.
Do you know what
I
this
guess,
was?
So
This was another film that I have seen
As soon
and
as you started
100%.
watching it, you're like, yeah.
This was a Basketball Diaries for girls for me. Like I remember when
actually
I've
kind of an apt
seen
comparison, kind
I've
of.
like seen Basketball Diaries, but like couldn't remember, and now it's like I've seen this film and I couldn't remember. And I watched this movie because when I saw Sin City, I was like, oh, I love Brittany Murphy, so I'm gonna watch like all of her movies. And so I saw this movie because of her. And promptly forgot it, but that was in like 2004. So you know, give me some grace here. But anyhow,
I've already
and
forgotten it.
we're at Coldest Cinema Knowledge. So here, I don't think you said the. I don't think you said it.
Lacking on the cinema knowledge.
I
No.
said it. Go back and
No, you
listen.
didn't say it.
I
No, go
100%
back and listen.
I
It's
did. I said it.
Okay.
I said we're the Cult of Cinema Knowledge podcast. I got Larry, Gary, and Barry, all of us here. My wife obviously is joining us again today. We for those.
Can I
of
be
you-
lizard?
Yeah, please. You kind of are lizardy. Are you gonna do the synopsis? Ben?
No.
Yeah, this is your
Next
favorite
week.
movie, Mary.
Next
Come on.
week you're doing the synopsis. Think about it. For the last one. The last one. you
That's
guys
true,
did.
yeah.
Right.
So all right, I'll wing a synopsis like always. I'll just wing it. No, I didn't get any sweet Reddit comments making my life easier this time. So
I know. I know. Yeah.
So,
What fingers crossed one day we'll get there.
Drew Barrymore is a youngster in the 60s who meets this boy played by Steve Zahn, who's just kind of a little goofball, hard-headed goofball, and they develop a relationship, and she quickly gets pregnant. Her dad, James Woods, is very upset, but they decide, she's like, I have a future, and she's going to go to college, but then she's like, no, I'll get married because that's like what's expected, and she gets guilted into that. So she gets married against her better judgments, but, Steve Zahn, I don't remember any of the characters' names off the top of my head, but Steve Zahn,
Ray.
yeah, Ray, I only remember Lizard, right? That's the one.
Yeah, Lizard. That's the only one you need to remember.
Ray.
I'd dry his weed.
Typical. Yeah, exactly. They they get a house. They have their kid, and it's like them just raising their kid through the 60s. But he's like a fucking just sucks at life. He's trying to be a good dad, but he fucking misses work. He's always drunk. He's like not abusive, but he's just like so fucking bad for them in so many other ways. And eventually, with so much drama, she ends up telling him he has to get the fuck out of their life because she misses an opportunity to get a scholarship because he's not around to watch his kid, and she has to bring the kid to the interview. And a lot of this is we don't like single mothers, you know what I mean, especially back then. And so the movie's kind of intercut with the modern day in the 80s, where her son is now an adult, and they're going on like a little trip to go see him. And so eventually they go, as she's older, she's written a book, and she's getting an opportunity now finally as a grown 30-something-year-old woman with a 20-year-old son now to get this book. And so she goes and tracks down Steve Zahn, who's addicted to heroin and everything, and gets him to sign away his life rights and everything. And motherhood, I don't remember exactly how it is.
This is based on a book, right?
Right.
On a true story about this lady's life.
Well, you don't like my
Okay.
synopsis?
We have some pretty bad ones, but this might go down as one of our worst synopses.
There's not like a lot of heavy. It's not like a big plot heavy movie. It's characters. It's like she's got her childhood friend that's like with her. She gets pregnant with her together, and it's like her life. She's just kind of like dragged down by circumstances constantly. You know what I mean? It's just one of those, and then she's got to kind of like rise to the challenge at the end, and she's got her own issues, and her son voices those where he's like, "Oh, you were a shit mom, kind of, and you made me like I was your problem," and she's like, "No, you're not, but kind of."
Okay, well, now that we've talked
Well, right.
all about the movie,
It's hard to
That
be.
was
It's
Cold
hard to
Seminole
be a.
podcast people.
Well, literally though, but it's like it's hard to be a teen mom. Basically, that's the moral I got from this. It's like, but
Especially
thankfully
in the 60s
she
and
grew up.
70s,
And it was a really happy ending. It's like she did have a lot of support from her parents, like begrudgingly. They were supportive. I mean, they helped. The mom was there cleaning the house like every day, and her dad helped financially under the table all the time. It was like, she definitely had a lot of like that, but she wanted to be independent, but struggled through it and was young. And then it does suck that her husband, like, this movie tonally did a really bad job at like, he's addicted to heroin in the 70s, and it's like I don't know, he's functional, kind of like, I just don't know how they're making money still and stuff. He's been doing heroin for 2 years, but like he was like, "Oh, I spent all of our like savings, I guess," but he was bringing in enough that they could pay their rent. It was kind of like that was tonally weird.
70s were different era,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah, they didn't get into that too much.
No,
I asked
She
Levi
worked.
too. I was like, what do you think he's gonna tell her? And he did not know. And then when he said heroin, Levi was like, "What?" And then it makes sense, right? Because it was that.
I thought they're like big stoners too, like because the guy kept.
No,
wanting to
I
do
thought-
weed, and then it's just
I thought he
jumps
got like
into
in
heroin.
trouble.
Yeah, or
Yeah, I
something,
thought like
right.
him selling weed. He got like, he I don't know, got busted by the cops or something. I thought it was gonna be weed, but then when he said heroin, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That like they didn't. I actually appreciate that they didn't go down the like extreme route. I mean, probably because it probably is more true to life. Whoever this is based on. Is it based on Beverly D'Onofrio?
Like she wrote her biography as a book, and then the movie was based on the book.
Right.
So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I am curious. I'm gonna try and change this a little bit for you guys. I'm curious from like your perspective. Obviously, I know why I liked it, but what were the themes that you took from the movie?
Yeah, what was your first impressions, and what did you take away?
So
Jordan.
Yeah, like I definitely I didn't dislike it. I think it just tonally it didn't really know exactly what Lena wanted to be into, and that's fine. But I think that Drew Barrymore did an awesome job at that, like being kind of it's like fun because this movie actually does a really good job at portraying people as humans, as like a little more complex than just being like, she wasn't just like an aloof dreamy nerd that like loved the jock and was like hopeless and stuff. She was kind of like she liked to drink and smoke, and she was she was kind of like
She
I
was
liked her rambunctious
self-absorbed.
side.
She was also
but she
self-absorbed.
was
Yeah.
100%. But she
Yeah.
was fucking 15, so it's like one of those things too,
Well,
where it's also like
throughout the whole movie.
but yes,
whole
exactly. And I think it's interesting because she doesn't change at all at the end. It's actually kind of refreshing to see like her growth was. I mean, it's kind of because of the movie. They just do the whole like she has the one conversation where she's like, "I loved you," and it's kind of like, well, you haven't shown that at all ever. But it's like you said it, so those words are nice. But it's like it was just interesting to have like her relationship with her father also, where that was kind of peppered in throughout, where it's like they were estranged, but like
It was a good
at the end they kind of
end where it's like they're kind
of
even after
like I knew
kind of their life, they still have this bond, and that's nice.
Right. And I think and I think honestly though, that's what's kind of refreshing is like, and it's probably more true to life, where she did actually go to college, and she is, she's about to get published. She is more quote unquote functioning. And so like, I think the dad has more space and more like love and like respect. And like, it's kind of like, it's nice to jump back and forth between that, to be like, to see the turmoil between them. But it's like, and it was nice because this movie wasn't heavy handed, which is good. Like he didn't say like, aren't you glad you cleaned your life up and stuff? It didn't have that kind of, it just was like the touching moment where they have the song together and you're kind of like, all right, life goes on. It's not,
it was like
nothing's
it was
perfect,
a horror era of life, and it does feel like this is potentially the start. Like it ends hopeful, where it's like this is the new chapter. It's like her son has like kind of like got out his grievance, and now it's like just in the air now about like his upbringing and everything like that. And I'm glad because he sells it, and you feel like because he's like such a nice polite kid too, but then he's like the fuck by the end of it.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, and I do enjoy. It's like, that's funny how the dad gives him like one good piece of advice. Like it's a little cornball for like a movie, but like in reality, I really liked that. Like how he just was like he's like, you need to ask for help. Like, he's like, I'm a worthless piece of shit. And so like, but if you just ask for help, women will stay. He's like, I don't know why women stay. But they'll stay.
Too,
that was,
like,
I was laughing because I'm like,
that. I don't understand how it works.
no,
right.
That's
the only thing.
Yeah, and I like to believe that he's off drugs now, and he'll smoke some pot occasionally, but he's a habitual drinker, But no, I think
he's off drugs, but
he seemed too healthy. No. He seemed too healthy to be doing drugs for
even when
for like
I've
he
been on
did.
heroin
Yeah,
for 2 years.
I've been on heroin for 2 years. Yeah. I know, yeah. He's not Lou Reed where he can just like do heroin for his whole life, but I don't know. Yeah, that stuff was funny, but like honestly, it works. Like I kept thinking of Basketball Diaries like as a comparison for the style of film. It felt, because Basketball Diaries is that earlier 90s, but it's like 98, right, or something like that. I thought.
Like that, 90,
anyways, so like really close. This was shot in like 2000, so it's like very close to each other, and they kind of have the same
in the 80s, like almost
the film.
Like it's got
well, and that's but I think it works as like its period piece. Like works really well. I liked the eras, and I liked it. Jumping to the 80s and stuff was nice. It's like it's kind of funny though, because there is like a lot of stuff that I'm like oh they didn't really hide it that well, but it also is. It's fine. It works better than Basketball Diaries.
It's like my biggest problem, because it's like I liked the movie. I thought it was charming, and obviously I like Drew Barrymore. I like Steve Zahn. I like seeing him and stuff. I thought everyone did a good job, and they sold it. But it did feel like the whole time, especially afterwards, I was like, this movie's written like, I feel like on paper, it could have been Basketball Diaries. Like on paper, it's just like my life. My husband is secretly doing heroin. It's like the struggles of this, and it's just like it could have been such a downer. And had they gone that route and been like totally straight with like the source material, I mean, I don't know if the book is like full of levity and like kind of like wacky, like Brittany, them being all silly and goofy a lot of times. It just like felt like the director, and they hired two main actors that were known for their comedic roles. Like, they don't do like serious acting. Like, even though Drew Barrymore crushed it, she wasn't doing like, some really dramatic acting. She was doing like, the lighter stuff. And I feel like the whole movie, they're like, let's lighten it up a little bit. The subject material is too dark. And so it just felt like, tonally threw me for a loop. But I don't think it would be better if it was completely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think there's.
Like,
Yeah, like, it can't go
like, 'cause
one
on
way.
paper, I feel like if I just read this script, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's just like a depressing story. But they brought like a life to it. But even though I think it benefited from it, it was still kind of clunky in that way. But I don't know. I still enjoyed it overall.
Right. I think it was like, when it was funny, it did a good job at being funny, but it was also one of those things where I'm like, well, this can't be, because it's based on real life. It can't really be like, they can't go extreme with it, you know. They want to try to like keep it grounded. But I think my favorite scene was the whole wedding, you know, scene.
yeah.
Just
That was
that it was so good. And like, Drew Barrymore did, you know, a great job. Obviously, I love her so much. She's a great actress. And like, I just, her crying and like, like all the time when like she has like her baby and she's like, it's, you know, supposed to be a girl and stuff, and it's like, it's kind of funny because they do a really good job at like she's sympathetic, because I just feel like she's kind of pathetic and kind of just so young, and like, it kind of sucks because it's one of those things where I'm like, life is like, you know, kind of kicking her in the stomach the whole time, but then like things will happen to her and I'm just like, how she reacts to them, I'm kind of like, oh, like, it kind of sucks that, like, you know, are you going to learn from this? And then kind of at the end, she doesn't really grow from it, and that was kind of like,
Well, yeah.
that was my troubles. But
here's my perspective on it and themes, right? Some things that I like, I mean, from a women perspective, but also from a social work perspective, maybe a little bit, is the generational perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something I really liked, obviously, was with her character. They didn't make her just the victim in a way, because she had her own faults, right? And you see those clearly in her character. But you also see that with her dad, too, right? And so then we have this almost generational aspect of things that her dad does, you know what I mean? Like forcing her into this marriage and things like that, that then have created her view and then her parenting style. So I actually think this is really interesting about parenting and about how, like, I mean, sometimes I think parenthood can be very placed on a pedestal, or like the way you can visualize or portray it in a story, right? And I think they do a really good job of showing the complexity that can be a parent-child relationship. And particularly, like, our parents just fuck us up. And I say this in therapy all the time. I say this as a therapist. I say, I have never met... I've never met a parent who hasn't fucked up their kid in some way.
Yeah.
And I don't, man. I mean, not completely or whatever, but we're humans. And we come from our own experiences. We build our own baggage. And there's just always something that's going to happen in that relationship. It's too big. It's too complex for something not to go wrong. Yeah. Right?
Like Jordan was saying, it's like, it did a good job showing like the grays of like people are imperfect raising other children. You know what I mean? It's like,
who then grow everyone to be imperfect parents.
It's like, because Beverly, she's trying to do, like, she's trying, given her circumstances, like, she's stubborn and she's like sort of ambitious, considering, you know what I mean, like, she's always trying to get out of the she's always trying to get out of the situation and trying to better their life, and just keeps having so many terrible things, like all her money getting taken to bail her out and everything. Like, it's always you know, she's trying to make these strides forward and then gets a huge setback. You know, but it does do a really good job of showing the, like, complexities of that, you know? Yeah, it's so like no one's all good and no one's, like, bad. Because even Steve Zahn, he's a piece of shit. Like,
but he's not all a piece of shit, right? No, they could have written that character.
He's a sweet dad. Like,
way worse.
He loves his son.
He has good intentions, but the environment that he was probably built in set him up for a life and environment that was hard to overcome, which she did, right? Yeah. And I think that's an important part of her growth in her story, right? Yeah. Is that she did overcome some of those circumstances, like her power and her desire, even though, and I think the point, right, why it's called Riding in Cars with Boys, is she's always the passenger, right, in a male-driven story that they've kind of led her in part of her life, whether it's her dad or her husband, or even at the end, it's her son who's driving it, right? Like, there's always this male point of view that led her life in a direction that she didn't necessarily get to choose, right?
That's a good point.
And so I think from that perspective, and then her being able to kind of come out of that and tell her story in the writing, like that is being a powerful thing. Is I think why as a female I kind of connect to that, right? Anyway.
Well, I loved her poetry, and when she was like writing that letter
yes.
to her parents, and like she was about to throw herself down the stairs. Like her
she's
her
so
poetry is
dramatic.
beautiful, and it's
I
like
love it too.
I wish that she's so dramatic, and it's they do a great job at setting it up right at the beginning. Like I really like the little girl perspective of it, where like she wants to grow up really fast, and then it's kind of like, well, here you go, like in like 10 years you're gonna be. Whatever 6-7 years you're gonna be pregnant, so that you're growing up really fast.
So I guess, but the dad's unwillingness to see that version of her, right? And
right. Well, I mean, I don't even know if that's really the 60s per se. It's like I think there's a lot of it today. I mean, I don't know. You obviously I don't have children, and so Levi, you'd be the one to kind of speak to that. But it's like having a young daughter. It's like I don't know that. Watching them grow up, and you got to know what society is like and where they're going. And so I know Mary can speak to it too.
We were talking about
sheltering. Yeah,
we're like, oh God, if our daughter got pregnant at 15, and it's like, okay, we didn't get pregnant at 15, and it's literally a lot of it comes down to just like everyone's so sheltered and doesn't want to talk about it, and like she's like, oh, I want a bra for Christmas so that boys will notice me. And he was like, down. Which.
Yeah, he was kind of.
Dads don't even want to. I talked to other dads, and they're like, still they have like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old like myself, and they're like, oh yeah, I already got the shotgun oiled up for when her first boyfriend comes over to sit on the porch. And I'm like, okay,
is that real? Is that a real human being? I can't believe that kind of human being. Like I know they have to exist because it's like such a stereotype, but like, do they really exist? I just
think it's a thing they say.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I don't know though. There are people out there goofballs.
It's a slippery slope. I get it. But it's also like, talk to your kids. And it's like nobody. I feel like people still don't really as much as they ought to. But especially back then, it's like they're not going to be like, here's how you practice safe sex. Beverly, the 15-year-old, it's like, you don't have sex, especially coming from like more religious background too.
Abstinence always wins.
Yeah, and that's how you end up with teen pregnancies, like more often than not, statistically. And, so that's the route. But I don't know. I thought it was interesting, just as parenting, like just seeing, I mean, I had a lot of PTSD watching this from being also like raised by a single mom. Like I had a lot of moments like that going with my mom to places where she's like had to drag me along and being like, oh, she obviously resents me for being here. I felt that a lot in the movie.
Yeah.
And but it was again like talking about Steve Zahn, like he's never abusive, like physically or verbally. Like he's just like bad and absent and makes terrible decisions that hurt them that he can't grasp. But he's like. He loves his son, and he's doing all this. And even when he leaves, like that was the like the most impactful part of the movie for me is when he finally leaves and drives away, and the son grabs his toothbrush and runs out on the street. And then it's just like then he like that was like a turning point for him. And it's just watching little boys be like upset about that, like that hurts.
Yeah, of course.
But
right. Well, I totally was like, I gotta call my mom at the end.
Yeah. That was This is the real.
I know. Sorry. There's one person in this room that doesn't want to.
The real emotional impact. Like not to go back on griping on it some more, but it's like the son. I feel like was very obviously he's like the linchpin of the story, but like they didn't give him the goofy bits, except for they gave him for some reason voiceover narration just randomly, which was.
Oh, I know that was so. Well, I think I know
that was weird.
They did it. They did it narratively for one joke. They did it for one joke so that the girls at the parlor could go, your girlfriend's really mean. And he's like, it's not my girlfriend. And he looked right into the camera, my mother. Yeah. So that was like for one bit they gave him.
That was too real for Levi. Yeah.
My mom had me when she was 16. So I remember going to my mom's prom with her. And I don't know. It's just him being, even as an adult, it's like, he wasn't ever playing it for laughs, and I think that's what also like took me out of the consistency. Because even when it's like when she's trying to go down the stairs and have an abortion, like that seems serious, but I can't take it seriously because she's just like
dramatically.
It's just so silly. Like it's like never. Yeah. Like even when it's like, oh shucks, I've been on heroin for 2 years. Like it really is just like.
I know. Well, but know what that did? That made me really mad because that's like women, get gaslit like fucking crazy. And the dad was like, he needs a son. Like, it was like this, like, I'm like, no, A, he's going to abandon him soon. And B, it's like, no, fuck a piece of shit, dad. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, if he's on heroin, I don't know. Like, yeah, he needs to take care of himself. I don't know, keep your heart open, I guess, if he starts changing. But like, he's on fucking heroin. Don't just be like, he's got to stay because he's the son. I'm like,
I mean, that was
I just like, and he like was slapping her like, God, you gotta like, listen to your husband.
As
I'm
far
like,
as it
Jesus
being
Christ.
realistic too, I was surprised. I was glad because it felt true to life when it's like the old friend with the braces came back into the picture later. And I was like, oh, he's going to be the new romantic interest that's going to come in. And like,
I'm glad they
kinda,
didn't do that.
Swoop her away from and make her realize how shitty her husband is now. And they didn't go that route at all. You know what I mean? And
He was supportive. He's like, come to California with me, bring your family.
Yeah.
like, he was like,
Well,
he's like,
was
come
just another
out there.
route she didn't get to have
another
because the
opportunity
man
squandered.
took it away from her, right?
Squandered.
Like,
No,
for
that
sure.
was good that it like had,
To go-
the hope, all the hope. They kept giving her so much hope, and then it's like
Let's
something
take
would
it
get screwed
away.
up, and it's kind of, I think that's where it's like, yeah, and I don't know. There's something about like something to be said about her father, like not trying to discipline but not be super abusive. That was nice. They didn't go that route because I'm almost like I can't believe that he wouldn't be more in real life, be more abusive. Like I almost feel like this movie was showing James Wood in like a rose-colored glasses, but that's me speculating, but
yeah. If it was real, they'd be like they wouldn't throw rocks at cans; they throw rocks at their children. Like,
oh yeah. Well, no, I'm more like when he's like they were just gonna like let her off the hook for drying weed, and that. But then he was like, no, I'm gonna have her like go to jail as like a punishment, but as like a light. It's like I don't know.
But
no,
but I think his point
tough
was
love.
he was very roles, and you have to do what's expected of you, and that was like his problem, right?
Yeah.
And that's what distanced her relationship with him for a big chunk of her adulthood. There is this pressure to maintain these roles that he expected for his life, right? And so then I think, not only do you see that at the end between her and her son, this kind of understanding of she did the best she could with what she knew to do, right? And I think you then see that with her and her dad in the car. Like that is he did the best he could with what he knew, and it's just that cyclical family, you know what I mean, dynamic. I did want to talk about also the parentification that happened with the son. That was pretty like his parenting her.
That's I grew up with that.
So
that's what I'm saying. That's one of the most impactful scenes too. Like for the emotional core, for like taking something serious and not making it silly.
Mm-hmm.
When the son, as the 8-year-old version or whatever, where he's like, the mom, Beverly's like, I need a partner, and he's like, no, I need a mom. You know what I mean? Basically, and it's like I'm the kid.
I'm the kid. You're
I'm
the mother.
fucking kid. Yeah, and I'm like, man.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, just kind of that, again, that emotional immaturity that she had. You know what I mean? That was like part of her character development is that kind of leading then to he took on this emotional support role for her, which shouldn't be placed on a kid, right?
It's because even
well,
then, it's like she's used to relying on others, and so it's just like she's got this other one, and so that's what makes it so nice at the end. That even though she doesn't grow and change necessarily, she's finally given the freedom to do the things she wants to do and succeed in the way she wants to by writing her book now that her son's an adult, and she's like up to her own devices now finally. Because even then, she's like, I'm gonna try. It's just me and you against the world, kid. But then she's relying on him because she still hasn't quite learned to rely on herself so much.
She's even living through him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to NYU and wanting him to live her dream, right?
Yeah, she's literally like, that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? You're going to do it.
So she's got to let go of that for him. That's got to be her journey in parenthood. So anyway, I thought there was really good examples of real relationships, parent-child, right? In this movie, and
I did a good job. You know what I'm realizing now that I am hurting that I didn't get in this movie?
Hmm.
Is a final scene with Brittany Murphy's character, where she's like, I'm going to try. It's just me and you against the world, kid. But then she's relying on him because she's still hasn't quite learned to rely on herself so much. because it's like they have the falling out. She's like, I finally have to like quit hanging around you now. And then you definitely
Right.
get like the daughter is a part of it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
so he ends
Well, that's-
up with her
And
daughter,
I
and
wanted
then
to
he
see
said,
No.
but
the
she asked,
friends.
but at that one part, and I feel like you were talking during
Yeah.
when it happened.
Yeah.
There's that one part where she's
I don't talk
like,
during movies.
how did what's her name? Faye? Was it Faye?
Faye the kid.
Yeah.
No, Faye the
Uh-huh,
friend.
Faye. Brittany Murphy. Yeah.
Brittany's character, I think, was Faye. She was like, and how does Faye feel about their relationship? And he was like, she knows, and she's excited for it, right? So there was that part of it. I feel like that.
Well,
was
and,
a little bit of
Beverly said, I just talked to Faye 2 days ago, and she didn't mention a thing about it. So she's like, I'm supposed to be her best friend.
I want to see.
So
it,
no,
though,
but
'cause
dude,
Brittany Murphy's
that's literally
so
my thing.
good. I just wish
No,
she was in
fucking
it
tell me.
more.
Oh, dude, Brittany Murphy steals the show. Her crying and her whole confession at the wedding was like, she's such a good actress. I'm so sad she's gone.
yeah.
But anyways, it's like this movie did the whole thing where like, I understand the whole point of this movie was to show that like that integral part of the kid growing up and being the mother, and like that was probably like such a formative time for her, you know, the author who wrote the book, living in that like dead end, and you know, and just going through that and the drugs and the shit. But it's like they kind of yada over like, you know, 10 years. And I'm like, it's not like I needed to see like scenes of him like
The
growing up,
volatile
and now he's like in
years, I feel like would've
he's
been
in
good,
high
though.
school.
I mean,
But yeah, but it would have been
I bet you the
cool to
book
see
had
him. Yeah, like right. It would have just been nice to see like every 5 years or something, like him like finishing grade school and then him graduating, you know, or it's like I don't know. They just needed, yeah, like you said, a little bit more. It did feel kind of like rushed at the end, where they like I think they probably got into the editing room and they were like, oh, we don't really have very much for the ending. Like it's like we have these nice conversations, but it only got us to like 75 minutes or something. And so they're kind
and
of
that
like,
always
oh shit,
happens
you know,
with,
like
with adapting books.
Just-
You know what I mean? And I feel
Right.
like there's like a lot
Right.
there, and they're like, well, what do we got to pick and choose? Because already like the runtime was
Yeah.
pretty long for what this kind of movie is. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something. And so I could see why they made that
okay.
choice. But
It felt kind of long, and I didn't look at the runtime, and I was like, I had to pause it at one point, and like, but I didn't look. It's like, yeah, it's longer for this kind of movie.
yeah. So even though I wanted more near that, that third act a little bit. But I guess what was important, you got enough of like the reunion with. I thought the reunion with Ray,
Right.
Steve Zahn's character.
And then he still like he gives something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
even
loved-
through it
I
all,
loved him,
he
He knows
yeah.
it's like the
still-
least he can do.
Yeah, like
It's the
he
least he can do.
he definitely understood
Yeah.
how he was harming them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think he also understood to like give something back in his own way there.
Well, I think he's like weak in his convictions, but like he's a good person, you know, if you will. I mean, like like we said earlier, like people
But he
have
knows from the get-go.
complexities,
He
but it's like
says, "I'm no
but he's-
good. I got such a hard
Right,
head.
like-
You break your hand punching my just fucking dome." You know.
yeah, right. I think he knows his lot in life, and then drugs probably just exacerbated.
Intelligence. I mean, he didn't get to
Yeah.
finish school and all that. So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
to his history there that kind of sets him up for that.
That's the best thing. It's like, I mean, obviously since it's based on real life, but even in biopics we get, and things based on books, like you get these characters that are very like fictionalized. But I think that's the best thing about this movie is the characterization and like how it shows parenthood.
Yeah.
But it's like all the characters were very three-dimensional.
Yeah, I feel like
The
I
main
remember the
ones.
first time maybe watch like or my first I don't know how many times I've seen this, but like why I liked it originally probably had to do more with like a woman's experience and men, right? And I feel like I liked it more and respected it now because of the parenting idea, right?
Yeah.
Than I did for that. And it just because I've changed, right? And so my perspective on this movie changed. So I think that's what's interesting about a generational movie.
Yeah.
But it's like when they talk about it being real, I mean they went as far as to talk about she's like, I'm not sure I love him. Like I'm just supposed to love him. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like damn, they put it
And then
all
and then
out
she
there
wa-
with
and then
that.
she waterboarded him.
That's what I'm saying. It's like every
It did, yeah.
emotional moment where it's like that is a big emotional moment, but then it's just like, oh geez, she's so high, she like lets him fall back in there again. But it's like all played for laughs, and it's like
Yeah.
it works, and it's cute and it's funny.
Well, I mean, I do know it's the studio. The studio did that, so like they didn't know how to market it and they didn't know how to
Well,
do
felt
it.
like
So
was a
that's why I feel like
decision
the
early on in
editing.
directing. Well, it was the directing. It feels like for sure where they're like, I don't know. This is like a take on like I don't know who directed it. I remember the name looks familiar, but it was like it does feel like someone who mostly does comedies, and they're like, let's just like lighten it up a bit. It's heavy.
Yeah,
And I appreciate that attempt. I just don't know if it was totally successful because it did. While it made it more palatable and memorable, I do feel like the big impactful moments like are immediately then kind of stripped away with like a gag or something, or like an over the top like goofy acting scene where it's like I'm crying but I'm like laugh crying or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like those are like
I mean, he
my
drinks
real
out of a bidet, so it's kind of one of those things where I'm
I
like, what is
know.
this movie doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I think that is my biggest gripe.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I don't know how to make it. Like, you can have levity, like life. There's fucking comedy in everything. No matter every single human being's life, they've laughed. No one's been born and never laughed. Like, it's like we all laugh, you know. And so it's like there's comedy, and this movie does a good job at it just like you're saying, Levi. It's a bummer because they would do a poignant scene that was like done well, and then it would always be punctuated by kind of a weird gag. And that was something like, it's like her getting peed on is funny and real life, and like that's an actual kind of funny real moment that doesn't it works really well for the movie. But then it's just like, I don't know. I think they just were too afraid to get heavy with it. And I think that might have been the producers. I think that probably was like the studios, because Penny Marshall directed this, and this is the last film she ever directed.
Yeah, what
And,
else did she direct? 'Cause I recognize that
she
name.
did League of Your Own. She did the League of Your Own, and she
Maybe
did
recently,
Big. She did Big, which is a huge one. And she did something else too that I can't remember, that I was like, oh, that movie's great. And anyways,
That's nice.
but so she's
I'm glad it's directed by
she's
woman, too. Like, 'cause
I know, right? Really though, yeah. And I actually do
I
think
can see
I do
not
think that
going.
shows.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, if this is Devil's Wear Prada, she'd be in her panties a lot more. But like, I think that Penny Marshall, I was watching like an interview with her, and she had a tough time with this movie. She butt heads and clashed a lot, and this is like a really high budget, which we'll get into that in a minute. But it was like, I think there was a lot writing on it, and so I do think that there was probably a lot of interference on the back end, if they did pickups, or if they, she's like, well, let's make
I'm curious
more
about
gags.
The book,
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, it does feel like all on paper, I feel like the script is very just like the facts of life. It's like an inspirational story of like struggle and like womanhood and being a parent, and a young parent, especially in like a more repressive time. So I'm curious about the book, because we're watching this show right now. It's I know this much is true on HBO, and it's really good, but it's just like everything is, there's not an ounce of levity.
Ooh,
It's
so
so
depressing.
It's so down.
Hell yeah.
And
I don't know though. It makes it almost hard to watch.
it is. I would consider it like misery.
That's
porn.
so I sort of
That's my style.
misery porn is good. So I get
And so I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know, like if they went that route, I think it could still have a place. But I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they went for it. But I don't know. It's a weird choice. We're getting
Well,
there.
Mary,
and I'm curious,
Mary,
Oh, yeah.
I want to know real quick. Mary, I want to know, how does it hold up now? Like, when you first saw this, what was your first impression, and then what's your impression
Yeah,
now?
and me watching these movies with you that you have, I can tell you're like self-conscious, like if I'm gonna like it or not.
I am.
Like you're watching it with me,
because
like
I don't view movies the same way you guys do, right? Like, and just like I don't view music the way Levi does. I am all about the story or the lyrics, right? Like that's what I care about. I don't, and while I'm sure obviously it influences me the way it was filmed and how they do certain things,
Yeah.
like I don't look at that when I look at a movie. Like I just look like, did I resonate or feel something from this? That's how I view movies and art and stuff like that. And so then I get then it's like I'm almost like I'm looking at it through your guys' lens of like how you might be critical or view this in a movie
Yeah.
that like I've liked.
No,
right?
Mary,
And
I
so
watch
then
movies with my heart more than my brain for real.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I feel like that's why I'm more self-conscious about picking the movies or how you'll feel about it. I also just don't want you to like be critical of something that I brought to you, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, as it holds up,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember when I first watched this. I remember liking it, that it's obviously the story enough stuck with me to make me think about it, right? But I don't remember how it held up. I would say I can completely see your guys' point about the kind of levity and the back and forth there about being like unsure what it's doing there. So I don't know, I get that point too. I probably understood the concept a little better now that I'm older, but I don't know. As far as the film goes, the filmmaking of it.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk much about the actual
No.
filmmaking, but if we will for a sec, it's like I really liked because you said it was a high budget, so I'm interested to see that in a minute. But it feels older. Like this was right before digital got good. You know what I mean? But it feels like it was shot on like old, cheaper film. So it feels like an early '90s, late '80s movie in its like aesthetic.
Does.
And they did a good
Totally.
job with the period piece, and like the music was good. It was well edited to support the gags, which were funny. Like it was a well made movie, and I feel like
I mean,
a lot of
I
movies
think
that are
that
period
that should be
pieces
said.
that are like
The-
in the 2000s,
Yeah.
really don't pull it off. And it's like I feel like this pulled it off good because even though like that house, I feel like could have been a set, but I'm like I don't know if it was. It just felt like an old crummy house that was like stripped out. They're like, this is our 1-bedroom house, our 500 square foot house that we have now. Like I don't know, it all really worked, except for it's just I don't know. I didn't always believe her age, the ages. I'm like, you're supposed to be 15, and then later I'm like, you're supposed to be 35, and you're just like, you're obviously like 25.
I mean, I'm sure that's hard to do in
It is,
general, right?
you know, but
Right.
whatever.
Oh, especially when you take when Drew Barrymore has to be Drew Barrymore for 99% of the movie, it's like hard to I think they do a good job because they totally like whatever that term is for like making infantilizing, like making her look younger with the bangs and she had the little ponytails or whatever the hell, the little pigtails when she's like dude, that's like I don't know, this is funny. This is one of those movies where it's like there are like 5 scenes in this film that are phenomenal, and I think they're great. Like there's levity in the drama, like when she's role playing with Brittany Murphy, and she's like, "What am I gonna tell my parents?" And she's like, "I'll be your my daughter." Yeah, like, what have you done to us? Yeah, and it's like, and it's like they're both acting like
that's funny,
perfect
and real though. That feels like something
right.
that would happen.
That's
that wasn't,
perfect.
Like, added
Well,
on
and
NBC, you know what I mean?
And
it's
the
heavy, but
gag,
they're dealing with it.
Like the gag that they add in is when she says like my daughter's a tramp, and like the mom covers the little kid's ears behind. Like it's enough gags in the middle of that. It's like it's supposed to be like 2 really good friends role playing, but it's like a real situation.
It's like
a heavy
laughing
situation,
so they don't cry, and it really works
right
because they're like it's obviously a very stressful situation. You're like, oh god, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And
And then juxtaposition. Like when they're I actually really like when they're at the park and they're like on the teeter totter, with their kids and they're chatting and stuff. And then it's like, she's like, it's a serious situation where she's like, I'm divorcing my husband. And it's like, this is not, it's not great. This sucks for me. It's like, it was nice to see somebody else's drama, for a minute. And like, that's the thing. It's like that. I really like that scene. Like I even like when they drop the ecstasy and like they're talking, and even as kind of like goofy as I say that, the waterboarding the kid, it works. I like how she's like, that's where she kind of the ecstasy, which we've all been there. Allegedly it opens your third
kids in a hot tub on ecstasy. I mean, who has?
Yeah,
we have not.
No, yeah,
but
it's like.
There.
But no, drugs open your third eye, and you're like, I'm so sorry. I realized like what I did, because she's like, I promised to be like a better person, And she tries from that moment on. But
sorry, you brought something up that I would feel like we have not talked about, which is also just their female friendship, right? I did think they brought that through.
It's great.
They
the
should have
whole
Thelma and
movie.
Louise though. They should have.
You know, hell yeah, dude.
But again, that being kind of a theme there too, where
They're both Thelma though, so
they had each other also for that
That's-
emotional support, right? And things were happening to them with men and whatever. But that female friendship, that loyalty, that acceptance for who the other was a consistent throughout that, and that was pretty.
That was good. That's
good.
the chemistry, because the chemistry between all the characters was great, and it's like that's the strength of having good actors and like good characters that are developed, because it's like the chemistry between them was awesome. Even the chemistry between Ray and Beverly, like it wasn't like, oh, we're so in love type of chemistry, but it was like the way they were able to play those scenes together just always felt natural in a way that was like reflective, and it's like that's why movies rule. It's like I don't know, when done right, they can really just show us these things, the slice of things. You get that chance to see this strong female friendship that feels real. And I know watching movies with you that it's just like if someone can't fucking pull it off, like in the acting, then immediately it's like all believability is fucking destroyed, and it's like, what's the point? And I agree.
I struggle with that. Anywho, okay, maybe we should do
Yeah.
the
Well, if
Reddits
you,
or the
I want to say, like,
Yeah,
if
I
you
wanna
liked
know.
this, you guys, and then people in podcast land, watch a show called Raising Hope. It's kind of dorky, but it's got a lot of the heart of this. But it's like a comedy, and that's what I was trying to think. I'm like, what is a show that like would just be comedy that's in this vein, where it's kind of like an underage dude with like a struggling through parenthood, and he lives with his parents, and they're kind of like, if these guys grew up, like they're just kind of dorky, and they had a kid at a young age, and it's a cute show. I highly recommend it. It's called Raising Hope.
Yeah.
But so for Money Minute, it was $48 million.
Yeah, that's way more than I would.
Which is so much more, dude. Basketball Diaries was $2 million.
Yeah.
And
I would've
this
said
looks better,
15.
but barely.
I
Yeah,
would've said
15
10 to
is my.
15 tops.
I
That's what I would've said.
If you said this was $20 million to shoot, I'd be like,
that's a little
oh,
steep.
I guess.
I could
well,
see it, though.
and I was gonna say, yeah, it's like what's her name? Drew Barrymore was huge.
She was
at
huge,
this.
yeah.
This was right. This was right. Which is 2000. She's already. Yeah, she's a big actress at this point, so I get that. But it's like $48 million. That's why I'm like, I think there was something on the back end that really got fucked up.
What
Like,
did
I think they.
spend that on? I don't
Dude,
even.
That's what I mean,
Rewrites,
Mary.
fucking-
What did they spend it on? That's the whole reason we talk about Money Minute, is because sometimes you see a budget like that and you go, "Where? This movie didn't need. This movie
That
took. It was like
house,
4
that
sets.
that
house, that neighborhood.
Just built it
Yeah,
from
it's like
scratch.
just. It's like they could shoot in that cul-de-sac thing, that dead end. They could shoot in that dead end all they want. It's not like they're shutting down a city to shoot. Like this
I
is like,
know.
it's like where the
What
fuck?
is-
Where?
It had to
Yeah,
go to
almost
cast.
50.
I mean, a big chunk.
Yeah.
Of
There's
it
not
cast.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it had to be. It's
but-
like, yeah, there's not like
Right.
a lot of scenes with a lot of extras. Like the biggest scene is like the wedding scene,
It's not
and even
like-
then it's like
Yeah.
a small wedding.
Like, what are the scenes or locations that are costing that much money? That's
Yeah.
wild.
I do nothing. They're in a car and they're in that house. It's like I don't
Right.
know why it
Of
costs so much
course.
money.
That's it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it didn't make anything bad. I mean, it made 35 million, which is, if it's
still
like,
a
and that's
lot
why I
of
was like,
money,
it made 35, but it should have been made for 15.
Yeah,
So that would have been a
35
good.
would have been a good. If you
Would
would've
have been
told
a good
me, "Oh,
return.
This movie made $35 million. I'd been like, oh, so it was a smash hit, and then told
Yeah.
me how much it cost.
40.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like, yeah. Oh, it's kind of crazy.
Well,
but
it does feel
anyways.
because I've heard about this movie, like the title mentioned on like lists over the years, that it's like a fun. I feel like it has like kind of a small cult following of like, yeah, it's like you watch it, and depending on your place in life, it says a thing to you
It hits-
about
yeah.
life. Because watching it
Yeah.
now, every
Yeah.
movie I like, movies that I've watched a million times, I watch now as a parent are like completely different. And so rewatching movies is awesome for that reason. It's like as you get older, so it's like that's what's nice. I don't know.
How
I could
nice.
see that having like this is a flaw. Like I think this is a good movie. It's flawed. I think it's got like some structural.
It's all
flaws,
just
but-
structural. Yeah, 100%. I think it's like acting and shot and like edited pretty decently. It's just there was like a theme, and then they just I like think about it, and I'm like, there's a way to fix this, and I feel like there's probably like 5 edits of this movie because they're just like, how do we tweak it?
That's
How
what
do we
they
fix
spent
it?
all
You know,
on. Reshoots, probably.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like just editing. Could have been editing nightmare. I don't know. It is crazy, right? But dude,
What's
I
the
just really
Reddit
Brittany
say?
Murphy, man. Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy. I know
Rip,
everything.
dude. I love her.
Everything she's in, she's steals the show. I'm like, was she ever
Yeah.
the lead in anything? Because I feel like she's
Oh,
always
Yeah.
like what? Because the biggest one
She's-
I'm thinking
and-
is like Girl Interrupted, but she's still like the second character. She's like the friend.
Isn't she in like a
Or-
romance movie
She's
with
in
Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah, she's in Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, that one. That's a big one. The one with Ashton Kutcher. Then
Vegas
she's in a lead where she's like a nanny for one of the Dakotas Fannings or whatever. I think Dakota Fanning. One of the Fanning sisters. She's like that one's I love that
was
movie.
on one of my lists. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
I can't remember what it's called either.
Don't
She has a
tell me.
pig.
Sheets of Egyptian cotton. Yes. What is the movie?
What the fuck?
What is the movie?
You already gave it to me.
But there's one where she's
Oh my
one
gosh,
where she's
it's
a
first.
nanny. And then like she's in
Beaches.
this
Uptown
she's in
Girls.
this one
Uptown Girls.
Yeah,
wasn't on
Uptown
here.
Girl. That that movie's great.
You can put that on
But,
next week's, maybe.
And then she's in a horror movie that I watched recently, which was pretty good, but it was really depressing because she was like really she had to weigh like 95 pounds and she just looked really unhealthy. And so it's like, and it was not her character. It was like she was supposed to be a writer and she just looked sick. And I was like, oh, it like broke my heart. She like died that year. I think when they shot the movie.
Just Married was the one with Ashton Kutcher. The little,
Yeah, Just Married.
Little Black Book. That's a big one. Obviously, I remember her from 8
never saw it.
Miles so much.
Yeah.
Oh, in 8 Mile, she's great in 8 Mile. She's so cool. And then Sin City. I mean,
Sin City's
that's
like-
that's
the one
my
I always
crush. Like I
think of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though she's in there for
100%.
like
She's in
not
Oh,
even
Clueless?
10 minutes, dude. Like,
She's in
Oh wait,
is she?
in what?
Clueless?
Oh, she's in Clueless?
I know.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh,
but-
she is. How did I not remember?
I know she. Oh, and Spun, dude. I like. Spun, but she's yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember Spun.
I didn't see that one. But yeah, so it's like she's great because she'll do. I love how she'll do kind of like more hyper girly pop movies, and then like Spun or like she'll play trash, and it's like great. She's so good at it, both. Like,
So good.
yeah, she's
Yeah, I
the girl's
wonder-
got range.
I should watch 8 Mile again.
I know, dude.
I saw
no,
8 Mile in theaters, and it was.
I
very
saw 8 Mile in
uncomfortable.
theaters, and I saw it with Shadell and my dad.
Yeah, I saw
and
it with my mom.
It was
and
like
weird.
it was like the first week that like I don't know, we just saw it with Chanel, and it was like
when it first came out.
it was awkward. I was like, oh, this is, there's like full penny in it. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say there's more boy peeing in this movie than I thought there would be.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna
the baby
say
penis.
I was gonna say we should do a whole month of kids
Of
showing children's videos.
full frontal nudity for children.
don't.
Yeah,
Please don't do
Like,
that.
because not long
Please
ago.
don't.
This,
that's so.
this,
Oh,
it's so.
I
well,
don't
so
even want to see
unnecessary.
the voting on that. Like, I don't want to.
We'll get on the list because we watched
No,
Superman.
no,
The first
look-
Superman not long ago. Like I don't know.
oh yeah,
why
and
this
he's
is
full.
like-
He's fully nude.
Oh,
he just
Lord.
got it out. I'm like, why?
I get it though because it's like I'm like
baby's one
it's
thing.
just it's a child. Yeah, he's a
it's
baby.
fine.
It's like
It's fine.
clearly like if he was naked older, then that's
that felt
different.
real
But
as
it's
a
like
parent too, watching the
But it
toddler
did.
stumble around with like shit on his butt with no underwear, and you're like, no,
right. Yeah, like
every day.
getting peed on. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. All right. I only got 2 Reddits, so you ready? Heavy U 1887 says Brittany Murphy is stellar in this. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a standout for sure. And then Clones of People 2 says, second watch, I quite like this film and think its biggest strength is that it doesn't fully lean into the melodrama. Yes, it's full of emotion highs and lows, but if this really leaned into it, it could have been a tough and depressing watch, but instead, it's more of a coming-of-age drama comedy. The acting is pretty good. Brittany Murphy and Steve Zahn are standouts. Poor Lorraine Bracco is having a tough time recently with drug addict children and now teen pregnancy. I like the period scenes from the 60s. It felt real and didn't feel like it was a film from 2001. I also think it's well paced and all the characters are likable in their own way. It doesn't blow me away, but it's a nice, enjoyable watch.
So, yeah, I mean, I think
That's
that's
a
an
good
interesting
comment.
perspective
That's a
that
good
it, like, that's what they enjoyed about the movie is that it didn't take that deep, like, just
Yeah.
dramatic fill.
I
you
do
know?
too. That's why it
Me-
stands
me too.
out, but I don't feel like
Yeah.
it quite hits the mark. I feel like they needed to work that into the script. It feels like that came after the script. You know what I mean? And that was like a direction and producing thought. Like, I don't know. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, add in a joke here. The scene is too heavy. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
it's what
Well,
it feels like.
and that's the thing. I think that's what I liked about it. It
But I
felt
like
more true to life because it wasn't so dramatized. Even though like
Yeah.
life is
The-
super
like,
dramatic and like the things I'm
for
seeing
people
on
too-
screen are like
Yeah, thank
dramatic,
you for that
but-
comment. But yeah, the melodrama.
it's
It could
great.
have easily been melodrama.
Yeah.
Which is different than just hard hitting drama. But the way that this is, very easily could have went that route. And yeah, it I don't think it would have been. It would have been a worse movie, and it would have been way more forgettable. And so,
Right.
even as flawed,
It would have been harder to get through.
yeah, as flawed
Like-
as the the tonal duality of this is, I think that it's like not all bad. It's definitely a double edged sword there for sure.
Okay.
Good pick though, babe. What are you thinking on for next week? Yeah, one more
I'm
week.
thinking I'm gonna pick movies that
Go-
I know
let's
you
go
guys
darker
will
with it.
absolutely
Darker.
hate.
Oh,
I want
Oh!
you guys to absolutely hate these movies.
we don't hate movies.
I
We
want you to
rarely.
not
I don't-
hate
yeah, I was
movies.
gonna say, I
stand
don't
them
really
at
like-
all. I want you
It's like
to
unless you pick the original movie MASH. That's pretty much the only film that we've watched that like I like. There's no redeeming quality for
I feel
for
like
that
there was
movie
another
to me.
movie that you guys talked about for a while that you hated. I
No,
don't remember
oh,
what it
and there's
was.
that other one with Matt. It's not. Is it Matthew McConaughey? And he's like a judge, and it takes place in like Louisiana, and they have a briefcase with a
Oh.
bomb, and it's directed by my fucking nemesis.
The
I
Lincoln
fucking hate
Lawyer?
him.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's A
No,
Time to
no,
Kill.
no. That one's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
you-
Time to
It's a
Kill,
Time
and
to
it's
Kill.
directed. It's directed by
So
Joel-
Time
Joel
to Kill will
Schumacher.
be on the
Joel
choice
Joel
next.
Schumacher.
Directed by
And
Joel
Joel,
Schumacher.
dude, Joel Schumacher should be waterboarded. Like I fucking hate that guy
He's
so
dead
much.
now,
That
so.
I forgot. Well, thank God. I forgot that movie was like that one and MASH are the two movies that I'm like, oh no, I objectively hate these films. Like there's every
There's
movie
been a
I've ever seen,
couple- there's
I
been a
can be
couple
like,
we've been down
okay,
on that are not
Yeah.
good movies. But if you listen to our podcast ever, you would know that we
Yeah.
always find something to like about these movies, no matter what.
No, I'm sure.
There's always
But
when
I
we talk about
am-
them critically, we're like, here's what I
Yeah.
found issue with, or here's what I didn't like personally. But then also like, here's its strengths.
I probably am going to pick movies, though, that you guys, from a critical lens, there's not going to be, like...
No, let's be edgelords. Just
absolutely
get as hard
not.
as you
like,
can
there's,
with it.
there's not going to be deep thematical meanings we're going to take from it. It's just going to be purely enjoyable for the female
I mean,
Isn't that
funness
what?
of it.
Isn't that what fucking?
It's a little bit
the
Devil
first-
Wears
I mean-
Prada
Yeah,
was.
I was
vibes.
like-
But the Devil-
We're going
I was
a
gonna
little
say,
more on
I
that.
actually think like The Devil Wears Prada and this movie are good companion films. I think they do work similar for
mean,
like
same with
the
Thelma and
themes
Yeah,
of
I
Louise.
think there's
right?
been a pretty good through
I
line.
mean, the
through
themes
all
are
of the
girl
themes.
coded,
Yeah.
right? Meaning like
Sure, right.
female empowerment, female friendships, the female experience. They all have this in common, right? And
But
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
week's will too. But I think I'm gonna go a little more popcorn fun on it.
Yeah, bring on the popcorn.
Okay,
That's
fun. Do it fun. I'm happy. I mean, like I said, I love Uptown Girl, and that's not that's 100% popcorn
Sheets of
fun.
Egyptian cotton.
Next
She's
week,
got a she owns a
next
she owns a
month we're
pig.
gonna do just irredeemably depressing movies.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, no, we're gonna
With
do
full frontal
boy coded.
child
It's just gonna
nudity.
be naked children. yeah, yeah.
the Venn diagram.
do-
of those is-
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, like men coded movies, and it'll just be Basic Instincts for 4 weeks in a row.
It's just Fight Club repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, really though.
All right.
All right,
Well,
Mary. It's been
that was
It's
fun.
been a dream.
Yes.
So those of you listening, thanks for listening. Everyone on the Reddit, you're great. Come vote on what we watch next. By the time this comes out, there should hopefully be a poll soon, so come vote on the next one. If you're on YouTube, hello there. If you made it this far, you're great. Our Patreons,
Delicious things to
go listen to our latest bonus episode.
You rock. I know we got
You
a
guys are
bonus
awesome.
episode up.
Tell us. what you
Congratulate
want
us.
to- Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be Temple Grennan.
Yeah, we'll do a Temple Grennan bonus episode because we know that's what the fans are clamoring for.
Yeah.
And I know fucking Thomas probably listens to this and be like, yeah, Temple Grennan, he seems like he Okay, goodbye now.
All right, folks. Goodbye.
Bye.